Hello, everybody. Dog lovers and animal lovers have had a tense few days since August 11th when the Supreme Court decided that all dogs should be taken off the streets of the capital and put into shelters. We've seen signature campaigns, protest rallies, appeals, and exhortations on social media from a host of people, from celebrities to the common man, and of course, yours truly. But we've got some kind of a reprieve that's come in. The Supreme Court has revised that August 11th order, and it has some new things it wants us to do. Let me take you through what those are. So, the Supreme Court says that stray dogs should be vaccinated and sterilized, but returned to the localities that they were picked up from, which means that the dogs come back to the roads and don't get stuck in shelters. Dogs with rabies should be kept off the streets. Dogs that behave aggressively should be kept off the streets. Feeding areas have to be created in every ward based on dog populations, and signage has to come up to identify them. A national policy for managing stray dogs should come up aligned with animal birth control rules. And interestingly, any matters that relate to dogs, stray dogs, dogs on the streets of India should all be clubbed together and brought before the Supreme Court from other courts in this country. So, is it all's well that ends well then at this point? I'm going to find out from veteran film and television producer Freny Khodaiji. She lives in Delhi, in the heart of Delhi, actually, in Connaught Place, and looks after, feeds about 250 dogs in and around Connaught Place. Freny, thank you for making time. What have these last 10, 11 days been like for you?
The last fortnight has been probably the most stressful fortnight I have spent in my life. Not only stressful, painful, extremely hurtful, a feeling of helplessness, and yet in the most dismal of times, sometimes there's a silver lining. The kind of energy one has seen, the kind of solidarity, the compassion, the sheer coming together of people has been really, really amazing. As you know, the animal movement, like other movements, has many, many divisions, etc. People have put those aside, come
Yes.
on the same platform, gone there day and night. I cannot tell you, from all classes, I have to say. And that has been so wonderful. It's been very empowering, but we are all still extremely worried.
Frenny, why are you still worried? Because we have a judgment that is out on the 21st of August, which is the latest judgment. And that seems to have offered some reprieve, some relief, beginning with the fact that dogs that are picked up are to be sterilized and put back into the localities from which they were picked up.
So I have to say that that has come as a big relief. The fact that all dogs cannot be picked up and put into shelters and pounds, that has come as a huge relief. Although we all did suspect that that would have to be rolled back. I mean, it was just impossible to do. It was too impractical. It was almost, too cruel. So we're very happy about that. In fact, it's been so amazing, people we work with in Connaught Place, young girls who've been, work in the bank, work in the LIC. Yesterday, somebody came with a cake. One young girl who runs a little dhaba, she called me up and she said, "Ma'am, aa jao, party karte hain. हमारे बच्चे हमारे साथ रहेंगे ना?" I said, yes, अभी वो सब है. But as we are going into it, it's going to be very, very uphill, which has already started. You see, the court has not specified too much, right? They have said MCD, the
Yes.
municipal authorities will decide where feeding has to happen. They could have put in one more line saying the municipal authorities, in collaboration with feeders, RWAs, housing cooperatives, something like that. You see, when you give this kind of blanket authority to someone who is not, uh, who has not been working on the ground, and has to make decisions, it becomes very difficult. It becomes an us versus them. Something more collaborative should have been there in the judgment coming from the judge. Other than that, we are very worried about this blanket thing of aggressive dogs can be picked up.
Let's take one bit at a time. Let's address the first one, which is that dogs are now supposed to be picked up, sterilized, put back. That's a good thing. And is that going to happen more effectively now? Because in the past, it has been very clear that the civic authorities were not even doing that, right? And they don't have enough infrastructure to do that effectively.
The civic authorities certainly don't have the infrastructure. Just to give you an example, I am in the NDMC area, New Delhi Municipal Corporation, right? It's the hub of the capital of India, okay? The NDMC has two vans, both of which are very old, don't function properly. Most of the time, they're in breakdown state. We don't have anything for the night service, right? These two vans, whenever we call them, it is that they are not operational or they are on VIP duty. Okay, so starting from there, 10 years ago, we have met with the NDMC. We have asked for them to get newer vans. Right now, the vans, the way they pick up the dogs, the van is so high, you literally have to wrench the dog up, you know. So starting from there, and as everybody knows, the 20 centers, some of which are functioning very effectively and some are just not. And most of them are functioning, I have to say, in terrible, abysmal conditions. So yes, we are very happy with the general order that dogs are going to be. We go back to the original ABC rules, but in terms of implementation, there's so much to be desired, and we as animal activists and animal welfare people are very, very keen for a private public partnership. We are very keen to work with the municipal authorities because honestly, we are all spent. We are spent financially and emotionally.
Let's look at another point in this order, which is about designated feeding spots for dogs in localities. That seems to be a good thing, right? Because there was this feeling, and it's not just in Delhi, across different cities, that animal lovers, people who feed dogs, tend to do that wherever they find the dogs. It could be anywhere, right? Is that something that's a good thing, these designated feeding spots, or is there something that can be in the implementation where it could really be effective that you could ask for at this point?
It's a good thing because it gives a signal that it will reduce conflict immediately. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I hope the implementation of it is done effectively, and is done in a way which is practical and possible. For instance, we live in Connaught Place. Now, as a
yeah,
lot of people know, Connaught Place is divided into blocks. Okay. Now,
yeah,
we have done very responsible feeding from day one because my partner and I, we used to personally go and do the feeding, and we were very mindful of the fact this is a commercial area. You cannot do random feeding. You have to have a particular spot, and I hope the municipal bodies take this on board, consult us, cooperate with
yeah.
us. We will cooperate with them, and we can come to some practical solutions that will be workable. For instance, in Connaught Place, we have dogs in every block, right? And those dogs have been well fed. They are essentially non-aggressive. In fact, it is so wonderful that in a commercial area like Connaught Place, we hardly have a dog bite case. It's the traders who call us and say, "Ye bimar hai, wo ho gaya hai, aap aao." But it's taken us 15, 20 years of consistent work to be able to
Yeah,
get to that. But
yeah.
today it is where everybody's as concerned about the dogs in Connaught Place as we are, by and large. I mean, there'll always be the few
Sure.
who are not happy with the dogs, but by and large, it's a very, very good situation. Now, let's say a municipal body comes and says you can't do feeding in every block. Every 3 blocks will have a feeding spot. That's simply not going to work. All right. So those are the kind of negotiations we have to do, but I'm sure we can do it because even the municipal authorities now, I'm sure it's a huge wake up call for them. They know where they have gone wrong. And let's hope we can move forward with all of this.
Freny, let me ask you about another point that was there in the latest judgment, and that is aggressive dogs. Aggressive dogs need to be picked up, need to be off the streets. How do you define aggressive dogs? You know, in different parts of the country, at some point or the other, we've all experienced a bunch of dogs shouting if you know, barking at you if you pass by, or chasing a two-wheeler, or, you know, chasing a car. We've seen these things, and this is obviously territorial behavior by these dogs. But what is an aggressive dog? We've also seen, Frenny, in the past few weeks, a lot of media carry these videos of little children being mauled and, you know, playing up these stray incidents. Do you want to tell us what your view is, given your experience, on how aggressive can be interpreted in the context of dogs?
Can I first start by saying that it is really very, very disappointing how the mainstream media has played an extremely negative role in whipping up this hysteria, which is presently on in Delhi, and I'm sure it's there in other parts of India too. I mean, it has been a consistent, incessant program by a couple of newspapers and some mainstream channels, especially one, um, to just literally, it's like whipping up frenzy. Constantly, what you're showing is dogs with their fangs open, blood dripping out. It's like every dog is out as is this vicious being who's out to bite, who's out to maul. You know, we have written to them, we have pleaded with them, even after the judgment came yesterday, you know, and when they said dogs will be put back on the streets, even after that the visuals were all negative, not no positive visuals at all, you know. And this is not journalism. This is some kind of agenda playing out, you know. And we expect good journalism. I mean, we don't now expect it from a couple of mainstream channels, but the problem is that people watch them, and this frenzy builds up, you know. Kutta katega. I'm seeing so much now in Connaught Place. Literally, you see one dog who's one of the most docile dogs walking around, and the parent is pulling the child and saying, "Ajao kutta katega." You know, so the messaging has been so wrong. And we really implore with the media that please take a more sensitive point of view on this. These are very serious issues, you know. The first time we were contacted by a mainstream media channel was after the 11th, you know, when they sort of came to us for our point of view. And you know, we were very open, but I did say I hope you realize how you have contributed to this. And and had you given a more balanced point of view today, we would have been having a much more balanced discussion in the country about this, and also maybe in the courts. After all, the courts are judges are human people. They read the newspapers, they see the visuals, you know, they see the discussions.
How would you expect this word aggressive to be interpreted in the context of dogs by civic authorities? Does that still leave a lot of question marks and uncertainty for many dogs, or do you think there is a way that can be worked out as to what they should look for to before a dog is labeled as aggressive and picked off the street?
Terming any creature or any person or anybody aggressive it has to be looked at very carefully. For instance, uh, an animal that's aggressive for me may not necessarily be aggressive for you. For instance, we have a 8-month old dog downstairs, just where we live, and he's this frisky, happy creature. Okay, he's well fed, he's just happy, he's in love with the human world. Now, anybody passing by, he tends to go and tends to jump on them, right? Uh, he does this to us. We see it as pure love. He does it to someone else. They get freaked out that, you know, this dog is being aggressive with us, and he's going to bite us, and he's going to scratch us.
And
Um,
fairly so, and
and
fairly so,
fairly
because
so,
they are not, they don't
absolutely,
know. Yeah.
absolutely fairly so. And in fact, we are trying to train him not to jump. Okay, we are trying to teach him that, but it's going to take a few months. because dogs who are 8 months old don't settle down immediately. He will settle down with time, and he will settle down if if we work with him. There are ways of working with behavioral issues in dogs. Uh, but other than that, yes, dogs are territorial. They tend to chase. They tend to chase cyclists, scooterists, even cars and things like that. But it isn't that aggression of going out and biting. The real biters are few and far between. I mean, they're certainly there. For instance, in our area, what we try and do is, if we are getting complaints of someone going and nipping somebody, we take them to a boarding that knows how to handle aggressive behavior. We keep them there for 15 days, right? Uh, they work with them a little. They come back. They come back very chastised, I have to say, because it's like they've realized that we've done something wrong and we've been put away for that reason. They come back, we monitor them very closely. If there are further complaints, we take them back again. If there aren't any complaints, and Anuradha, I'm really telling you, out of 10 that we have sent, we call them, sending them on a bit of a punishment post. Out of 10 that we send, 8 come back and are by and large behaving themselves. All right. So again, this is going to take time and effort. And I do feel that if there is severe aggression, the civic authorities need to work in consultation with us. We will find solutions. If necessary, a few have to be taken and put away, but we have to be sure where they are put away. We have to be sure these dogs need even more attention than regular dogs, right? Over the last few months, I would say, we have been put so much on the defensive that we are not even addressing the issue of human cruelty towards animals, which is there a lot, okay, and especially in the densely populated areas. I mean, every month we pick up 3 to 4 acid victim cases of dogs, right? Literally, people in the bastis plead with shopkeepers कि भैया इस पे तेजाब मत डालो, पानी डालो वो भाग जाएगा, you know. So there are all of these, all of there's so much work to happen, and we just have to plod on.
So, Frenny, you talked about polarization. We saw a lot of intense anger directed at people like you who rescue, feed, and look after our street dogs, stray dogs, community dogs, all these names, right, for them. But is that anger going to become less now that we have a fresh, clear order from the Supreme Court and a national policy gets framed?
No, I don't think the anger is going to get less in the near future. In fact, it's going to intensify. We've already started getting cases from different parts of Delhi and the NCR where there's been violence against young girls. Another feeder, a man who was feeding on a motorbike. See, a lot of us hire people to take the food to different areas and feed, and we are very careful that these feeders know how to do it the right way. But this man is being hit by a stick, called all sorts of things, and in both cases they are saying कि तुम कैसे ऐसे यहाँ पे कर सकते हो, ये अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आया है, you know. So it's just it is giving a false empowerment to the other side, because they feel that now the Supreme Court has said no feeding on the streets, right? And actually, what they should have said is feeding is allowed, but not on main roads, main streets, right? Or on streets, but feeding should be allowed. You see, because nobody, anyways, tends to feed in the middle of the road or on main roads, or everybody's trying to find a via media. Nobody wants to get abused and beaten every day. It's counterproductive, right? So this is going to intensify. It's going to take a lot of work to sort of calm down both sides, calm tempers. When I say both sides, I have to say the feeders are scared, the feeders are nervous. They will try, the other side also has to understand that, you can't just impose blanket things like this suddenly.
What do people like you do? What are some of the plans that you have to create a better equilibrium, given that we've just experienced a flashpoint?
Very careful planning is going into this. Various steering committees are being set up. uh, those steering committees are going to have further committees under them. We are going to have many cells. We are going to have advisory committees. And we are going to take this up in a very, very systematic way, because we realize now that unless all of this is put into place, it's going to be a near impossible task to get this situation under control, and to keep the polarization from intensifying further. So we are going to be working as much as possible in all areas of Delhi and NCR. Uh, and it's just wonderful to see how people, volunteers, all kinds of people are coming up and saying, we want to help in this, we will help you. So we are going to have many, many simultaneous activities going on. One of the most important ones, of course, is going to be advocacy and awareness. There's going to be an intensification of vaccination programs, sterilization programs, and we are going to be trying to get onto the radio to put our message out. So let's see. Hopefully, we should get somewhere.
Hopefully, you'll get somewhere. I wish you, Frenny, a lot of good luck. And, we really hope that there is more awareness, better understanding, and also rules that ensure that man and dog can, coexist, because it is their right as much as it is our desire for safety, isn't it? Thank you. Good luck. And we'll keep coming back to check what's happening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you like how we take a look at current affairs, and if you care for the perspective and depth we offer on some of the key issues of our times. Thank you for watching.